Hi, my name is Julianne Reall, and I teach at Anaheim High School. I teach Intro to Computer Science as well as AP Computer Science. And I am 2021 Carlston Family Foundation honoree. And one of the connections I have with my students is I find out their stories. In the beginning of the school year, I go into their guidance. Many times when they're in junior high or even in high schools, any incidents that happen at our district, it's documented. So I go in, take a couple hours, and I read every student's story just to see who's coming into my classroom and how I can better serve them. And I remember I had a young man who came in as a ninth grader about 3 weeks into school. And I was actually gone. I took a group of kids on a field trip, and my sub dealt with him. And so when I came back, he was actually not in the classroom, and to find out he had gotten into a fist fight, and so he was already suspended. So the next time when he came into my classroom, I didn't let him sit down. I said, just wait. Let me get the class started. I wanted to talk to you. So I took this young man outside, and again, I read his, guidance reports, and I knew he had 3 pages of just incidents after incidents. So when he went outside, and I introduced myself to him and talked to him, and to let him know that I'm there to support him. I already know what was going on in terms of his report, but I wanted him to tell me what was going on and why he had all those incidents. And so he didn't want to say anything at first, and I explained to him, I'm a parent, I'm a mom as well. I'm not here as a teacher. I am here because I care about you. And so he kind of opened up and said he got into the fight a couple days ago because somebody looked at him and asked him where he was from. And so he didn't allow that. And so I said, hey, if somebody's asking you where you're from, just say, I'm from Anaheim. What's the big deal? Move on. And so he kind of told me he is in Anaheim, but he came from LA and he was part of a gang. And so that's the reason he joined, because that's how he grew up. His dad was in jail. He doesn't know where his mom is, and he's being raised by his grandmother. And so I told him, well, what do you need from me as a teacher before we can even get started in there? What do you want from me? So I can support you, because I want every student to be successful. And what's your story? And so he told me he wanted somebody to help him, to let him calm him down in the classroom. And so I told him, I can do that. But I said, I'm doing you a favor. Now, here's the trick. You got to do me a favor before we can go in. And so he said, what is it that you want? I said, then you need to be on task. You need to do what you're supposed to do as a student in my classroom. And we can work together, because it's about team building. And let's make it work. And so then we went into the class. And after the conversation, the student was so, he didn't want to disappoint me at all. He wanted to do whatever he could to be the best student he could in my classroom. And there were days, of course, he just didn't want to do anything. And so he would put his earbuds in, and he would just sit there and start drawing. And I say, all right, that's fine, draw. But I want you to draw me something. Draw me something instead of just drawing, graffiti kind of thing. So one day I told him, draw me a unicorn. And I said, I want you to look at positive things in life. Unicorn make people happy. Don't draw things that are so dark. You need to change it inside of you to make things work for you. So he started drawing, and he drew, and he gave it to me. And so from that point on, every day on my whiteboard, he would write, "Have a nice day," or else "love." He would just do that. And because he knew that was a safe place for him. And I made that connection with him. And at the end, he did well in my class. He did what he was supposed to do. He promised that what he would do, and he did. And he followed through. And so I always have that, connection with students by finding out where they're from and what their story is. And that connection will help you with, no matter what kind of students you have, it will help you with that connection. And another thing that I do in my class is that first day of school, I talk to students about, I do an introduction about me. I tell them, today you don't need to talk. You don't need to do anything. You just sit there and watch me talk. And so I have this PowerPoint presentation to introduce my students about me, my background, where I'm from, and letting them know who they're dealing with. And so I talk about where I grew up and how I was an immigrant, how I didn't know a word of English, and how hard I had to learn the language, and now we're learning a different language together, computer science. Everything is about hard work. And so I share that story with them, and I even have pictures of my elementary schools. And I list out all the different elementary schools I attended, like 7 elementary schools in 7 years. And so I share that information with them because many times they'll come in having an idea, oh, I have this teacher, she was raised on silver platter, or something like that. And so I share that story with them and letting them know my background and where I came from, and I still know where I come from, and letting them know, but you can make it better because you have control. And whatever you do in my classroom, you have control. And how do you want to go from here? And so many times I'm blessed that my students, they accept that information and allow me to help them and work together. And so in my classroom, it's, I want to keep saying this, it's a safe space. They don't have problems expressing their opinions, and if they don't know something, they're vocal about it. We don't know what this is. Okay, sometimes I don't know the answer. Let's find out together. I don't know all the answers to anything, and it's about problem solving. How do we go about it? What's the best way to solve a problem? And so with my kids, I call them my kids, with my students, that's how I run the classroom. And so, as I said, I'm very blessed to have, a lot of children in my classroom who are willing to accept the challenges I give them.